Very good afternoon to my dear students. Today I have come with a topic of ecology to the students of third semester in the subject botany of the University of Mysore. The topic that I will be dealing today is an ecological group called the Hydrophytes. You all know that we classify plants into different groups based on the environmental conditions. If the plants grow in plenty of water, we refer them as hydrophytes. If they grow in medium amount of water, they are referred as mesophytes. And if the plants grow in very low amount of water, then we refer them as xerophytes. So this is an ecological grouping based on the amount of water that is available in that area. So in this presentation, we will try to know what are the definitions of hydrophytes, their types, their adaptations, and at the end we will know the references also. Well, we can define hydrophytes as plants that grow in abundance of water. Hydrophytes are plants that grow in wet places. So wherever there are lakes, ponds, pools, swamps, rivers, streams, you find these hydrophytes growing. They can be classified into different types based on where actually they are growing in the water, whether they are completely submerged, whether they are outside the surface of water, whether they are floating freely in water or they are fixed in the soil. The types are rooted submerged, submerged floating, rooted with floating leaves, free floating, and rooted emergent. So rooted submerged means these plants are completely inside water, but their roots remain in soil. They are firmly grounded in the soil. The examples are Hydrilla and Vallisneria. Submerged floating. So they are completely inside the water surface, but their roots are not firmly grounded. They are not rooted in the soil. As a result, they freely float in the water. The examples are Utricularia and Ceratophyllum. Rooted with floating leaves. So these plants are firmly rooted in the soil, but their leaves float on the surface of water. The examples are Trapha and Nelumbium. Free floating. Free floating means they float freely on the surface of water. Their roots are not firmly grounded. Their shoot is also free on the surface of water. The examples are Pistia and Eichhornia. The last type is rooted emergent type. So these are partially outside the water surface and partially inside the water, while roots are firmly grounded in the soil. Examples are Polygonum and Typha. Coming to their morphological adaptations, they have reduced protective tissues, supporting tissues, Conducting tissues like xylem and phloem are reduced. Even the absorbing tissues are also reduced. The root system in hydrophytes are poorly developed. Root hairs and root caps are also absent. The stem is soft and more or less spongy due to the presence of number of air cavities, and these air cavities are filled with gases. So this is also referred as buoyancy. So buoyancy is an important character of most of the hydrophytes. And many hydrophytes also show heterophyly. Hetero means different and phyla means leaves. They have different leaves. The leaves which are submerged are generally dissected, whereas the upper ones are the normal leaves. Coming to anatomical adaptations, cuticle is absent. Stomata are also absent. If they are present, they are functionless. Mesophyll is not differentiated into palisade and spongy tissues, and epidermis contains number of chloroplasts to utilize weak light underwater. So this is how they are adapted anatomically and morphologically. So adaptation is very much necessary for these plants as they have to survive in extreme water habitats. It is also referred as adjustment. They are well adjusted, they are well adapted to these extreme watery habitats. So for that they have to adapt themselves morphologically and anatomically so that they can survive in this type of extreme conditions. And this is another picture showing the air cavities in the cortical region and also the poor development of xylem and phloem on the other side of the diagram. And the references are Plant Ecology by V. Verma and Fundamentals of Botany by N.K. Soni and Vandana Soni will give lot of information on this ecological grouping. If you want more information on these ecological groups, you can refer these books and you can make a small note of it from the point of examination. I hope this information has reached you and it will be very useful in the examination. So I once again thank all my students for their patient listening. Thank you.